You don't necessarily envision women when you think of mass extinction, drug deals, interborder drug trade, organized crime, and cartel bosses. Well, you're in for a big surprise, because some of the world's most notorious drug lords have been women. In today's video, we'll discuss in detail about the lives of the most dangerous female narcos in history. Wait till you find out about a drug queen who killed her first victim when she was just 11 years old. So here's our list of the most notorious women in drug cartel history. Number 8. The first La FLACA, Veronica MIREYA MORENO CARREON. FLACA means girlfriend, but the Las Flacas of the Mexican drug cartels are far from that. There's nothing loving and tender about these lethal executioners who do not think twice before taking a life. The deadliest of the La Flacas were 3 women who rose to fame and power in the 1990s and met quite tragic ends. The first one was Veronica MIREYA MORENO CARREON, who can be deemed the mother of La Flacas. She truly proved to the world that women can be as brutal as males when it comes to the drug cartel world. Ironically, Veronica CARREON began her career as a police officer. She was a part of the law enforcement agencies that she later fled away from. She paired up with the infamous Los Zetas, a cartel known for its avid drug pushing and executions all around Mexico. Sometimes it takes the fall of one man to pave your way, and that's exactly what happened with Veronica CARREON. Her abilities were not truly appreciated until Los Zetas was governed by Raul Garcia's Rodriguez. It was the moment that he was arrested that CARREON's true talents were unearthed. She was the first woman in cartel history to lead a major drug cartel, and that changed everything. She was charged with murder in 2011 and put in jail for her drug-related crimes. Number 7. Following in the footsteps of the mother of all La Flacas was the second La FLACA. Her name was Nancy Manriquez Quintanar, and she was also taken in by the police in 2011 after an illustrious criminal career. She may have looked like an average-sized woman, but she was responsible for the deaths of 9 rival cartel members. She opted for the high-risk, high-reward cartel life, and was known as one of the most notorious serial assassins for the Los Zetas. She would initially go around bars and find out about narcotics dealers. She would then inform a hitman for her cartel, and the next day, that narcotics dealer would vanish from the face of the earth. She was chosen for this job because she was lethal, merciless, and enjoyed the whole game. She was notorious for her participation in several torture and execution cases as well. Number 6. The third most famous pioneer of La FLACA was Jocelyn Nino. When Jocelyn posted a picture on her social media with a modified gun, no one could guess that days later she would be found in an ice cooler, killed by another La FLACA, La Gladys. Jealousy is a strange thing, and it leads to some horrible crimes. The other Las Flacas could not bear that Jocelyn Nino had become so popular among young people, and that's what brought her to a very miserable end very early in her criminal career. Number 5. La Peque or Juana. La Peque, or the Little One, committed big crimes in her time at the drug cartels. She was born in Hidalgo near Mexico City, and after having a rough, poverty-stricken childhood, she herself became pregnant by a 35-year-old at just 15 years of age. She worked as a sex worker to support herself and her child. She later joined the cartel life as a lookout for police. She was arrested not for being a lookout, but for some chilling confessions she made. She not only murdered 5 people during her time with the dangerous cartels of Mexico, but also admitted to drinking their blood and even performing gross sexual acts with the bodies of the ones she had attacked and executed. Number 4. La Malanda. La Malanda was a famous social media sensation. She was known all around for her pictures holding giant weapons as she posed as the poster girl for the Zeta cartel. La Malanda has never been caught. She swiftly moves between countries looking like a simple young Mexican touring all of Latin America. The authorities have not gotten close to her in any way. These female sicarios are often underestimated due to their stature or beauty, and that's how they manipulate their victims. They easily blend in with the crowds and attack when you least expect them. No one sees it coming. No one expects it. No one knows. And that's their greatest weapon. Number 3. Thelma Wright. Thelma Wright's story is an amazing one. She went from a young Catholic girl in South Philadelphia, fell in love with the wrong man, and joined the cartel life to continue his legacy, to a social worker who helped other women. Thelma ran a thriving clothing business when she met her husband, Jackie Wright. The two fell instantly in love and married that year. They had a son, and life seemed happy. But tragedy soon struck when Jackie Wright's black mafia connections caught up to him, and his life was taken. Thelma decided to continue his legacy and took up the drug pushing in Philadelphia to new heights. The 1990s was a golden time to be a drug queen in Philadelphia, and Thelma amassed millions with her monthly income being close to $400,000. She was known as the boss lady and queenpin. She quietly walked out of the drug life and began living in recluse from 1991 onwards. In 2009, Wright began working with a local NGO to help women struggling with addiction. She later published her story in her book With Eyes from Both Sides, where she admitted candidly about the drug-related crime she had committed. She came clean. Number 2. Sandra Avila Beltran. Who knew that a little girl born in Baja California in the year 1960 would later be called La Reina del Sur, Queen of the South, or La Reina del Pacifico, Queen of the Pacific? She had it in her blood. The name of her mother was Maria Luisa Beltran Felix, and her father was Alfonso Avila Quintero, a family member of Rafael Caro Quintero, the man behind one of the most notorious and wealthy cartels of Mexico, the Guadalajara Drug Cartel. That's not all. Avila Beltran is the niece of Miguel Angel Felix Gallardo, the drug trade king of Mexico who was known among his circle as the boss of bosses. He's now serving a 40-year sentence in the 1984 murder of Enrique Camarena, a U.S. Drug Enforcement Administration DEA special agent. After being kidnapped at 21 by a boyfriend she had at the time, Sandra Beltran really decided to take charge of her life, and she did it in the wrong way. She was known for famously having a train of men behind her who would execute just about anyone at her command. She was arrested by the police on 28 September 2007 in Mexico City. She was charged with laundering money for billions of dollars. Number 1. Griselda Blanco Restrepo. Griselda Blanco Restrepo, also known as the Black Widow, was the greatest female narco to have existed. She was the queenpin of the Medellin cartel, which ran its drug trade from Miami, USA. Blanco was born in 1943 to a sex worker and was often hit by her mother's clients. She moved to Medellin when she was 3. Blanco was just 11 years old when she participated in the kidnapping and ransom demand of a 10-year-old boy. When the parents could not arrange the ransom, she helped to execute the boy. Her marriage to Albert Bravo gave her the title of the Black Widow when she had him murdered for stealing from their money reserves. She invented a special kind of undergarment that helped her traffickers carry hundreds of kilos of drugs undetected for many years. In the cowboy era of drugs, Blanco had a whole group of Los Pistoleros, an army of armed men who would shoot anyone at her command. She's been held responsible for 200 deaths in the US and Colombia. Her activities soon caught up to her when she was sentenced to 15 years in prison. After coming out, she began to live a quiet life. But in 2012, she was shot outside a butcher shop by unknown assassins, perhaps old friends. Those were the most dangerous female narcos in history. Let us know what you think about this video in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe to Crime Central.